want to share with you a philosophy that I take into my coaching, and I know my great mate Wayne Smith does also. When you're coaching something new, make sure you don't try and look at the end at the beginning. Okay, you've got this image or this picture of what you want to achieve, but actually break it down into the parts that allow you to do that. In doing that, you'll get clarity of role, so your player knows what it is that you want. You'll get understanding of the technique that you need to be able to do it with some intensity later on, and you'll get accuracy during the match when you have fatigue. So it's sort of like a stepping stone. So your first 2 or 3 sessions are going to be nice and slow as they were today, building on the understanding, building on the techniques, then bring in a little bit of intensity. So by that I mean, you know, quicken it up, speeding it up, get them to have to make decisions and do things at a higher pace, checking your accuracy off with that. Once you know they can do it with accuracy in that part, then you can bring the parts together. You might have 3, 4, 5 parts to an exercise that you're looking to be able to do on game day. Bring that together, then you've got intensity, then you've got accuracy, and then you've got a rugby team. So hopefully that helps you out a bit with your thinking. Again, make sure you enjoy your rugby because it's a great game for all of us. Cheers.
Morning, men. Today we're going to look at scrummaging, so just chuck it at me. What do you think makes up a good scrum? Power. Speed. Balance. Grips, yep. You can keep going on. I think there's 3 main ones that we're going to look at today. Balance, speed and power. So the first one I'm going to look at is balance, which I think's probably the most important, because if we don't get that part right, the whole thing turns to custard, okay? So I'll just do a little demonstration about how I think we can balance ourselves better in our scrummaging. So, Suey, can I use you for a second, mate? Come out here, please. Now just stand like so and don't react to me. Is that okay? We'll just face the boys that way. Just stand there, don't react to me. I'm gonna come in and grab around the top of your ankle joint. Don't react to me. I'll just lift your leg immediately up off the ground. Okay? This time, keep your legs locked. Flop forward for me, drop your head all the way down. When I say go, I want you to start coming up, stack your vertebrae from the bottom to the top, and your head's the last thing to come up. Are you happy? Yep. Okay, up you come. Stand there, don't react to me. Can't lift a leg. So what have we done? What have we done to his body? Aligned it, we've centred it. Okay, so I don't think during a game the referee's going to allow us time to, all 8 of us, to go down and do that. So just now, imagine there's a line running through here, Suey. You got that line? Yeah. Just stay there, don't react to me. Can't lift a leg, forget that. Think about, just stay there, don't react to me. Think about what you're having for lunch. Okay, so we can do that easy enough when we set up our scrum. All we call it is centering. You're centering your body. Okay, it's just martial arts. So what we'll do now is we'll set up a scrum with no opposition and just go through our setup technique, our setup system. Is that okay? Give me a front row here, please. Just face me. Suey, give me a hooker, please. Okay, tell me now, what is the role? Everyone's got a role. When the referee makes his mark, what is the role of a hooker? So you're the distance from the mark and the opposition, and also alignment, which means where we line up on the opposition to make sure we're all lining up in our holes. Is that fair? Okay, let's go through it. So there's the mark there. Let's go through our system. Props come in from behind. They bind up. Generally, the loose head binds first, then the tight head. Then the hooker binds on top. Break. Generally, the hooker binds where in modern day rugby? On the props. High or low? Roughly in this area. Why? So then you can use your shoulders. Down here you can't use them. Is that okay? Yeah. So can you boys now turn around and face your mates and go through the same system? So get your distance, bind up. And if you can, I'll just get you to bind a wee bit higher for this and see how that feels. Just push your shoulders forward so you can use your shoulders. Happy? Yeah. Okay, when you're ready, hooker, you get your right foot out in front. Got your balance. Now, when you bind up there, now centre yourselves. You all centred? Okay, when you're ready, hooker, you bring them down. It comes off the hooker. Now just stay there. Now with you being centred, I should be able to come in and push you and you won't move because you're balanced and you're solid. Up you come. Break. Happy there? Yep. Just remember when you come down, hips and knees back, chest forward. That's the position I need you in. At the moment, you're just a wee bit that way. Is that okay? You got one more, please? Yep. Much better. Okay, break. Now, boys, it's very important that when we come into this position, we're going into contact. So no difference to a clean out or a tackle. So what we need is we need to have tension through our body. So just watch Agura here, just relax. Tense up, tense up. That's the tension we need. So when you bind up, we tense our body. So we're solid, okay? Can we do one more, please? So bind up, send yourselves, tense yourselves, good grips. Come off the hooker, he'll bring you down. Stay there, how does that feel? Solid? Okay, break. Happy. Yep. Okay, give me the 2 locks and number 8, please. Now, locks, I'll come over this side to discuss it. Locks, take me through your system. What do you do?
I bind up first usually.
Bind up first usually. Where do you bind?
Up the kind of just below the shoulder.
Yep, so similar to the hookers on props.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like go down on one knee and bind up. And
one knee's optional, depends. You can either go on a knee or just come in normal. Yep. Now, when are you going to do that? When the front row are where?
When the front row are ready and usually
Yeah.
the hooker says like locks in.
Okay, so when the front row are ready, when they're at the 3/4 setup position, which is this, then the locks come in, or they're in the full setup position, then the locks come in, depending on what system you're using. Again, as you rightly said, the hooker might say locks or whatever, and the locks come in on that code. Alternatively, you might come in, when you're going to come in, give the front row boys a wee tap on their backside or verbally say, coming in, so they know you're coming in. Now, what's the one thing we don't want these locks to do to us in the front row?
Knock them off balance.
Knock them off balance. And generally that is because there's not a big enough gap there. So what can we do to help the locks get in? Yeah, so what we do generally is, if the lock comes in, if I'm on a prop and he hasn't got enough space, he'll tap me and say, open up. I just roll the instep, which allows that gap. He'll then come in and bind, then I roll the instep back out again. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Now, let's go, let's have a look at yours. Right, locks. Your system, when the ref makes his mark, the front row come in and they get themselves set up. They're either going to go to 3/4 set or full set, depending on what your team are doing. What is your system? What do you do? What is the first things you do?
We bind up under the shoulder.
Just demonstrate. Bind up, yep.
And then we go into our position once the hooker calls locks in.
Just demonstrate for me if you could, please. And show me the binding. Binding comes through and up, come off your knee. Okay, break. Now that is an option, going on your knee. Okay, we used to do it way back because the props used to set up so low. Modern day rugby, the front row boys are a bit higher, ready to engage, whether they're 3/4 or full. So the locks today can just come in if they wish and not go on a knee. They can cut out that one extra thing they have to do. So can you guys just try that this time? So just bind up, get your feet where you like them, and just bend over and bind up. Break. Happy?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. Front row, face that way, please. There's your mark. Let's go again, boys.
Yeah, locks in.
Okay, break. That feel better?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
Okay, locks binding. Just one thing with locks binding. When you come in, you bind up. This is my personal view. Bind up and across, and then tension. So your elbow goes towards your ear goes towards your elbow. That's the locking mechanism that we have in there. If you can't bind, it doesn't matter. The tension will hold your arm there. Can we just do one more, please? Thank you. Yeah. Hold on. I'll just fix that. So you're sitting back into it. I'll just fix that. See where that leg is? Yeah. You're sitting back. I'd say in your team you've had a lot of pressure from behind. Yeah. Okay? Which we don't want. So what I'd like you to do is get here. 3/4 is there. At the moment, you're here. Yeah. Okay, so 3/4 is there. Is that all right? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, locks in. Yep. Okay, break. Better? Yeah. Good. Number 8, please. Your role, please. What's your role?
Just hang off the locks and have to, when they engage, have to push it.
Yeah, very important role, I think, is the number 8 in modern day scrummaging. So what I'd like you to do is when you come around, get your feet where you'd like them, whichever foot you'd like forward. Get hold of the locks by the waist. You open them if there's no room, so you're not pushing into them. You come down to that nice set position, you close them, and you just squeeze them quietly into your shoulders. That's our connection. Yeah. And when the ref says engage, you release. Go through our system.
Buxton.
Break. You know why they got pushed forward? No, it's okay, no worries. That's what we're fixing it up. So you come in, foot there, you're full balance and just squeeze into your shoulders and you're not leaning into them at all. You're just connected to them. Is that okay? No worries. Try it again, boys. Good. Break. How'd that feel?
Good.
Balance all right up front? You happy with the number 8? You happy with the locks? Okay, there you go, good feedback. This is how we get better at giving each other feedback. So now can we have the 2 loose forwards, please? What's your role, gentlemen? Push on the prop, yeah. So when the referee makes his mark and the front row is set up and the locks are coming in, what are you going to do? Where are you binding? On the lock. Whereabouts on the lock?
On his right side.
Yeah, or in the middle, it doesn't matter. Okay, the thing is that you're going to have your neck locked on that prop's thigh, so there's no gap between the neck and the thigh. That's how we lock it in these days. In the old days, we used to have big angles. Is that okay? Let's go, let's have a look at you. There's your mark, front row.
Yeah, locks in. And sit.
Break. How's that feeling? All right? Now, when we engage, so for you flankers particularly, when we engage and make contact, the front row makes contact with the opposition, we want all our feet in a certain position, or our body. What is it?
Like shoulder width.
Shoulder width apart, roughly in line. So you might start off split like so as a lock or a hooker or a number 8 or a flanker. But when the ref says engage, we release and we end up roughly square, shoulder width apart, spine's roughly flat, and it's 120 degrees at the hip and thigh and 120 at the knee. Do you know what that looks like? Demonstration? You can hop on the ground, or you might have to hop on the ground. You show me what it is. So, the head is in the neutral position, which means it's not up, it's not down, it's just as we stand as human beings. Spine flat, 120 degrees at that angle, 120 degrees at that angle, feet shoulder width apart, roughly square. That is the position we want when we hit. Understand? Thanks. Are we all happy there with our system, our little system? Each team has their own individual system. This is only mine, so each team could be slightly different, but they're the basics. Are we all happy with our balance? Now what I'd like to look at is our speed. What I do is I individually put my team in start of a season and check them individually, hitting a machine, checking for speed and technique. I can't emphasise enough though that don't ever come to a scrum machine and hop straight into it. You must always check it for safety. Once overseas I put one together at night Next morning went back, never checked it, and someone had come along and undone the nuts on the side here. So don't ever trust a scrum machine. Always check it before you go in. So we'll just go in individually. Would you like to give me a hand, please? Just good technique. Don't worry about power, just good technique. Crouch, touch, pause, engage. Beautiful. Now you can see the good angles that he's got. Well done, son. Thank you. That's just a very simple exercise you can do. I think it's great also when you get a player in there, if he's a wee bit straight-legged, get him to look between his legs and see where his knees are. Change it to what is strongest. Teach him what is strongest, then he'll get it. Happy? So I'd put all the forwards through that individually, because remember, 62% of our power comes from the back five. 62% comes from the locks and loose forwards. So if one of those gentlemen is not hitting correctly, we're losing power. And that brings us on to our next subject, which is power. How much work in scrummaging, out of 100% of the work you do at your high school, how much do you do on a scrum machine in a week?
Not much.
Not much?
15 minutes.
15 minutes on a scrum machine? What else do you do off it? One-on-one, all the other drills. And I think that's tremendous, boys. The scrum machine is good for just doing what we did now, checking individual technique and speed. It's great for checking your speed and your technique and your hit, and it's very good for barring up, getting the aggression and the juices running. That's great. But I think that's all it's good for. After that, you've got to come off and do these drills which will help you with your scrummaging. This won't teach you about how to stay strong with movement. Scrummaging is we have to stay strong with movement, like in a game. So for that, for me, my rule of thumb is I do 1/3 on a scrum machine, 2/3 off a scrum machine. As an example, I know with the All Blacks, on a scrum machine we wouldn't do more than 12, 15 in a week. But they're real good quality scrums. So 12 to 15 is probably all we'd do in a week. The rest of the time we're doing live stuff off the scrum machine and our drills. I'd say many years ago when I was playing, we could do up to 100 on a scrum machine. But out of that, I think we'd only probably get 5 or 10 of them correct. So we perfected a mistake. So they're good for what they are. Now, I think you've got to learn off the scrum machine. So to help you to understand power, I'm now going to take you through some drills, which I think will assist us, and then we'll come back and put it all together on the machine. The first couple I'll do is for the neck, just warming up the neck. So just a simple isometric drill. If you just place your left hand by the left ear and just resist against each other and hold there just for 10 seconds. Then the other side. At the back. At the front. Just resist. Next one, can I use Agura and Sui? Come out, please, and just demonstrate. One gentleman will just stand like so. The other gentleman will have his hands behind the back. Agura's going to do the work with his neck. For 30 seconds, he'll move this gentleman around. This gentleman will just stand there. Away you go, son. So you just push him around using his neck, both sides of his neck, like so. Next, we're going to do, this is a simple one-on-one scrummaging drill, doing isometric. So you did it with your head, that's an isometric. We're going to do the same thing in a scrummaging position. So these two gentlemen will pack in against each other in a good scrummaging position, bind up, get this nice, lock their cell, lock your core. Quietly they'll resist against each other and ease off. Resist, ease off. Resist, ease off. That's all it is. Next we'll do demonstration, one-on-one scrummaging, perfect scrummaging position. Imagine you're in an elevator and you're on level 4. And we're just going to lower that down to level 2 and bring it back up to level 4 quietly. Demonstration, please. Good scrummaging position. Bind up. Quietly lower it down and back up slowly. Down and up. Down and up. Break. Next one is going to the same thing. Scrummaging position. And the third member will come in, which will be me in this situation. So you gentlemen packing against each other, bind up, stay strong. I'm going to come in and for 30 seconds, I'm going to try and move you, and you have to stay strong for the whole 30 seconds. Lock it, tension through your body, lock your core, hold the ground. Tremendous. Keep working hard. It's a tough drill. and break. You okay there?
Yes.
Okay. Next we'll do a one-on-one sink, extend, catch up drill. So here, a guru is going to do the work. This gentleman packs in against him and will give about 90% of pressure. A guru then will just quietly sink and extend and catch up and move this gentleman backwards. Full control of your body. Straight through, not riding up. Break. Well done. Next we'll do a 1-on-2 drill, so we advance it. So can I have one other gentleman, please? So if you two boys bind up as a hooker and a prop, the guru's going to do the work. You two boys give about 80%, 85% pressure. The guru's going to do the same thing, moving you back. Okay? Bind up over top. Good scrummaging position. Okay, when you're ready, straight through. Break. Happy? Now we'll advance that again to 2-on-3. So give me 2 other gentlemen, please. You 3 gentlemen bind up as a front row. You 2 gentlemen are going to do the work now. So it's 2-on-3, doing the same thing. So bind up, pack in. Nice and controlled, work together. Break. We're trying to push through, not up, remember? Can we just do one more? Yep. Slow it down, more control. Push straight through, not up to the sky. One more, thank you. That's better. Hold the ground. Break, they'll do it. So we work together. Stay strong with movement. Always stay strong with movement.